What's up, everyone? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. We're coming at you with a super spicy episode 305. We're recording on November 25th, 2024. I'm Doug, and joining me today we got Warren.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And Anita.
Hello.
As a quick reminder, check out SojuTalk on your favorite podcast platform. Sub to us on YouTube, join the SojuTalk Discord, and be a part of the nation. It is Thanksgiving week if you are an American. Woo. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Hopefully you're going to have a nice meal with your family. Hopefully you're thankful for some things this year. In terms of the after hours this week, Warren's going to present his Warren's Korea adventure. You know, he went to Korea a couple weeks back. He's going to talk about what he did, make some recommendations, things like that. Also, just so you know how I went to Dollywood like a little bit back? I'm wearing my Bucky's tennis shirt. I own 4 copies of this shirt, I think. Like
exact copies? Like
I think 3. I have a North Carolina one. Or South Carolina. I have a Florida one. Like, I collect this t-shirt, by the way, when I go to Bucky's.
Oh my god.
Each state I go to. Yeah. I've been to the one in Texas, but that was before I collected the shirts. They're building one in Virginia. It's coming in 2026. Ooh. I'm up to date on my Bucky's lore. Yeah.
Random thing you're into.
I'm really into Bucky's, man. Let's just get into the big new releases. There are 3 of them this week. Rosé, Number One Girl, the follow-up to Apata. We have G-Dragon, Home Sweet Home featuring Taeyang and Daesung. That happened. And we have Izna's debut with Izna. The only other track that got some decent amount of votes was the To Us track called Last Bell, but it got like less than half of the amount of votes that these songs got, so we couldn't really justify adding it as a 4th this week. So that's just some information.
That's pretty fair.
Let's start at the top. Rosé, Number One Girl. She is from the Black Label / Atlantic Records. Last 3 songs, the critically successful Apata, Gone, and On the Ground. You know, this Number One Girl track, obviously very ballady. Really showing off the range, I think, is what this song, I think that's the objective of this song. We're going to show that there's a lot of depth to Rosé, that it's not just like silly songs with Bruno Mars. We're going to sing a ballad here. I believe he co-wrote this one as well. I think he's on the credits of this.
Did he?
So there is that as well.
He did. Yeah, you're right.
Yes. So how are we feeling about Number One Girl? How do we feel about like basically a straight ballad song?
It's a very pop ballad though. It's not like a I don't even know if we call this a ballad. It's very Western. It's very American in the way it sounds. You know what I mean? It sounds like. It honestly sounds like something, and this is going to be a horrible analogy, and I don't mean this to be sound biased in any way, but like it almost sounds like one of those like singles that like a Disney star releases after their like image change, and like they add, you know what I mean, like those I don't remember any of their names because they're in their early 2010s. I mean, but like they would go through that phase where they, you know, had this like, oh, I'm a Disney star, and then they would go through this phase of, oh, I'm now an adult, and then they add dimension to that by like, you know, like, remember Wrecking Ball with Miley Cyrus? You know, like
that came to mind just now.
Yeah,
that came to mind just now.
Obviously, this doesn't have the level of craziness that does, but you know what I mean, right? Like,
the vibe,
yeah, like the similar vibe of like trying to add a level of relatability, another layer, another, you know, personality behind. I'm not just Blackpink Rosé, I'm a girl Rosie, you know, like that sort of thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like another analogy is like remember Joji.
Yes. Okay, I get where you're going at with that.
Yeah, like that's it's a very clear like it's Joji was like, oh, I'm not just the guy on YouTube who does the funky videos.
I'm not just Filthy Frank or the pink guy.
Right.
I got some depth going on.
Right. I have In the Glimpse of Us going on, you know, that sort of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Is that what that song's called? In the Glimpse of Us? It is. Glimpse of Us. Glimpse of Us.
Glimpse of Us, right? Yes.
I'm a huge Joji fan, so I forgot. But kind of sounds like that one too, where it has this nice little piano background and Rosie's just, you know, taking free reign over the vocals, I think. I don't know, how'd you guys feel?
I need to go.
I mean, okay, so before this song was released and before she actually did like the full album was out. She did a little bit of like a media tour, and I think she had like a radio interview where she was talking about like working with Bruno Mars and like the whole development of the album. And they asked her like, is the rest of the album going to be like opposites? Is it going to be more of like a fun vibe? And then she said, no, it's quite the opposite. Like opposites is the odd one out. Like all of the other songs are meant to be like way more introspective and like more like ballad, more like low key. And I think she, in that interview, if I remember correctly, she referenced like more wanting to do more of a storytelling in the album, and in a very like, I think she mentioned Taylor Swift like way. I don't know if she mentioned a specific album. And I can see that. I feel like having heard that in that interview, I kind of was expecting like, okay, so this song is going to be something way more mellow, way more introspective, and that sort of vibe. And I see it. I feel like that's definitely what she went for. I guess to me, it feels that I'm not against it, and I feel like it makes sense for her voice. Maybe that's really what she wants to do vocally. And it can work. I just feel like this particular song, I don't know, I feel like it lacked a little something to just distinguish it a little bit more amongst all of the pop ballads that kind of have
Anita, I know what it is. I know what it is. What it's missing.
What do you think?
Okay. Here's what's going on with this. Number one, let's just object. Rosé, great voice. It fits the style of music. It's good. On a face level, great. She could sing this type of music good. You know what the issue between her ever trying to do anything kind of Taylor Swifty is? She can't expose any past relationships because of how parasocial K-pop is.
Oh, you think inspiration?
you lose any depth you have in this type of storytelling because
true.
you can't like because you know how Taylor Swift could say like F that guy, right? Or I was wrong, I did this. Rosé cannot afford to do that because of the way that her entry into the industry is. And that's what's going to be if she continues to go this route. I feel like there's not too much more you can say at a certain point, right? Like without like superficial. Like if you don't start whipping out the receipts, what are we gonna talk about, right? We're gonna make up imaginary like people going forward more, you know? I think that's a potential roadblock. I can see. I'm not saying she's at that roadblock now, but I'm saying it might happen eventually, right? Where we're just like
But like, does that hinder the ability to enjoy the song though? Because like even though we all agree that publicly she hasn't officially dated anybody, I think we can all agree that she's had
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no way.
That's a tightrope she's gonna have to navigate with her team, right?
No, the thing is though, like this is what I saw in a clip through. I think like it was a TikTok clip I saw where she was essentially referencing sums she's been in. Like she's been like, you know, like in something ships with people in the background,
vague
but like
relationship.
Right. Like, and I'm like, do we count those? Like, she's clearly opening up a little bit about that. My question is,
which is good,
which is good, but like at the same time, like we saw what happened with some of these boy groups recently.
I mean, with all this type of stuff, with the whole K-pop spin on everything in her management, there's gonna have to tippy toe all that all the way. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's no way she could just start like ripping out receipts and stuff. It's just not gonna happen, right? So that being said, for me, it was like I get the song. I just felt like the subject matter and stuff. It's like, tell me I'm the best person ever, right? I just found it maybe 1% a little like, okay, I see what we're doing here. You know what I mean? Like I'll say I didn't buy in 1,000% to the messaging of this song particularly. I was like, I get that you have struggles, Rosé, whatever, but it's hard when it's like someone who's so successful, right? Someone who's doing so well is trying to like make a song where they're like, tell me I'm good enough. You know what I mean? It's just, to me, I feel like there's a tiny bit of disconnect there on my end.
I think though in the pop ballad, like just general pop sphere, when it comes to, well, I see it more with like female artists at least, but like I think there's always that discussion of like, even though it seems that I'm very successful and I have everything together, right? Like there's all this stuff that I'm insecure about, like like even like talking about like Taylor Swift has touched that topic, like Charlie XCX, like that sort of stuff is like it can be done. It's just like you mentioned, sometimes it becomes very vulnerable for the artist because they're pulling from very personal stuff, and maybe that is an element that needs to be incorporated a little bit better if Rosé decides to go that route.
I will admit though, right? Like it definitely feels very specific to a point where this doesn't feel made up for the sake of I need a relatable image sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, remember when On the Ground dropped? And I remember Doug, you talking about this. One of the things you said about On the Ground was that you had a similar criticism where like you were like, oh, like it's Rosé. She's not been on the ground. She was Blackpink. She debuted with YG in her back. And to a degree, I agree. I agreed with that because, you know, like the narrative she was telling in that story felt very ambiguous. Felt very vague. It just felt like it was reaching a little bit. On the other hand, here it feels like she's telling a much more specific story.
Sure. Yep.
And while I have never looked at my partner and said, "Please tell me this, that," very specifically, like I know that's a problem. A lot of my friends and people around me struggle with. So I'm like, at the same time, I don't know. I'm convinced. I'm persuaded. It's okay.
Yeah,
like, okay, you could be this multi-million platinum star, but you could also be someone that has these security issues. You know what I mean? Like, I get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I think the vulnerability is nice. I just don't know how far it will go going forward. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's what the whole album's gonna be about, though. Like that's
hopefully that's what I'm hoping for. I want some vulnerability. I think she's starting to serve it up. I enjoy that. I like it.
Okay.
In terms of the song itself, best song ever? Nah. Is it pleasant? Yes, right? For sure.
Yeah.
I kind of like this. I think it's very relatable for people, right? Because it's like everyone has some insecurities, and they're just like sometimes people need to be complimented. People need to be reassured that they have a place in this world. It's always positive. So everyone go out, give a couple people a compliment. It's like, oh, that's a nice shirt. I like that, right? Or like you know what I always wish? I always wish that people would tell these idols like, you're doing such a great job, regardless of the how many albums you're selling or whatever. I don't feel they hear that enough because Korea's very like negative feedback looped kind of society when they don't really positive feedback them enough. I just wish all these idols would be told like you're doing good, regardless of what the sales numbers are at the moment.
Doug, I want you to know.
Yes.
I need you to know.
Am I the number one girl?
You are the number one girl.
Number one boy.
Let's go! I'm the best girl. I was like, when I heard the title song "Number One Girl," I was like, so we're doing like an anime. Is she best girl? That's what I thought we were going to do.
Something.
I didn't know it was gonna be a ballad. I thought she was gonna be saying like, "I'm best girl," and I'd be like, "Okay, Rosie, you're the best girl." I thought that's what we were gonna do, but I wasn't expecting this. To be completely honest with you,
she threw you off.
Yeah, she threw me off, which was fine because I think she has a great voice. The music video, I believe she directed her own music video here. They bought like a 1990s camera and they brought a more modern camera and they just kind of filmed in random places, abandoned pool, a wall, a bridge. We just kind of did it. How do we feel about this music video?
I think that was like the Hangang River Bridge.
It felt relatable,
Did it?
Relatable, like my like a shitty school project. It felt relatable to me.
Oh.
No, I completely get why they did it for this song. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I get why they did it.
Concept, like the vibes of it being like quite like low key, like kind of matching the kind of stripped down quality of the song. But I do feel like it may be more storytelling within the music video might have added or enhanced the lyrics a bit more. So I don't know. I think it would be cool to see if she could also explore that visually, not just in the song.
You know, it's like when you're at a school and you have to make some kind of video project. You're like, let's make a found footage video and let's just rent an old camera, right? Like that's just. I feel like that's what they did here at a certain point. That being said, I thought it was pleasant. I like Rosé. I'm very biased to enjoy what she does. It was nice, right?
I am enjoying the amount of songwriting credit Rosé is getting. She is also the first person on here as a songwriter. So I mean, clearly she's doing more songwriting than Drake is in his own songs. So this is great. I like the way this is going.
Whoa, that's a stray. You know, it feels like if we think about the Blackpink girls, it's like, okay, Jisoo's very acting focused right now, right? Yeah. I would say Jennie's more of like acting, modeling, singing. She's doing like a bunch of stuff, right? Lisa's more doing like, I want to do music, but I want to be a performer too, right? And it seems like Rosé's like, I'm all about the music, period, right? That's what it kind of seems like the path they're on right now. And I think Rosie's doing a great job. You know, Apata blew up. This is a good palate cleanser. I'm very excited for the full album thing we'll eventually get, or the full project we'll see from her going forward. Boom. Okay, let's pivot. G-Dragon, Home Sweet Home, featuring Taeyang and Daesung. They are not from Big Hit. I don't know what company he's in right now. Don't have it off the top of my head. He also released this year Power, and then we got to go back to like 2014, I think, with Untitled 2014.
No, that's 2017. He released 2014.
Yeah, okay. We did go over this last time too.
I don't blame you though. It's very confusing. It's not your fault.
What company is he in now? Let me look this up
Galaxy
real quick.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, Galaxy. Yep, he is Galaxy Corp. That is where he's at right now.
Corp.
They did okay, so there's no music video for this song, but they did perform it at Mama. Mama happened this past week. They had 3 things they did. I believe they did LA day 1, and then I think they did Japan 2 days or something like that. I know it was Japan for a certain point. Oh, we see Warzad in the background. It's funny. He just left. Hi, Warzad. Bye, Warzad.
Was he here? I didn't even see it. Oh, my
God. But we got this Home Sweet Home track. You know what? This kind of feels like we got transported back in the day. Does it not?
It has a bit of a throwback.
It has such a mid-2010s aesthetic to it, right? The live stage was fun. My overall take on the song is I kind of liked it, but then again, I'm a sucker for 2014 style K-pop music. And I feel like they got Taeyang and Daesung to show up, but they were kind of regulated to just doing the pre-chorus. I thought that was a tiny bit of a shame, maybe. But overall, I thought it was pretty G-Dragon-y. I thought it was pretty fun. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
It does match, like, the modern way GD used to write Big Bang songs, where, like, a lot of... If you look at Fantastic Baby and onwards... In the 2010 era of Big Bang, it would be GD does a verse, Taeyang would take the pre-chorus, drop. Top would take a verse, Daesung would do a thing, drop, you know? And then the guy we don't talk about would do the bridge after, and then, you know, one more chorus, and then they would do the YG, you know, that thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was how they used to, you know, kind of arrange their parts. So in that aspect... Definitely an explicit callback here, right? Because like he's doing the same thing again, where like you mentioned, he does the verse, Taeyang does the pre-chorus, it's the drop, and then he does the verse again because you know somebody's missing, and then you know Daesung does the pre-chorus, and then it goes into the other run of the chorus, and it kind of works. It kind of works because Daesung and Taeyang, I think they provide a different voice tone a little bit, albeit you know their range isn't wildly too crazily different, but the character they bring to the soundstage is very different. Where like Taeyang is a lot more groovy and a lot more like mellow but firm at the same time. While you have Daesung, who's a lot more like, for lack of a better word, he sounds very Korean in a good way.
He's kind of theatrical with the way he sings too, a little bit.
Yeah,
I always thought Daesung was a little theatrical.
Remember the word bonky I used to use a lot, like bonk.
Yeah.
He's got that
yeah.
funk. He's got the Korean funk.
He got that Korean cheese going on in his voice, right? Yeah. Anita, did you like that he essentially released like a little bit of a techno chorus banger thing going on here?
I mean, it
Very
was interesting.
dancey. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when I heard Power, I was very curious to see what he was gonna do as a main comeback, right? Like a main, like this is the song that signifies I'm back, right? As an artist, which is this. This was not what I expected at all, because this felt like we mentioned, this feels like a throwback a bit, where I was expecting, I guess, something a bit different. And even though like Taeyang and Daesung are features, right? Like I think the inclusion of them, and when I saw the live stage as well, I feel like having them perform together and kind of be there, it felt more like a group kind of comeback in a way.
Definitely.
Yeah, it fits
unofficial,
the name.
official. Yeah, unofficial,
Fits
official
the name
comeback.
perfectly.
So I feel like, I don't know, it's interesting. I have mixed feelings about like what that means for him as an artist. If he really just wants to kind of just do more collaborations and like kind of bring the big bang vibe, or if he wants to do more stuff as a solo artist and kind of branch out and do something different. I don't know. I'm still unsure. I haven't listened to more of the stuff that was released, if any. So
I think that was it.
I guess
he's released so
still
far.
to be determined, in my opinion, like where it's gonna go forward. I like the message, but I think maybe because my first impression of the song was the performance. I watched the Mama video they had of the live stage they had. I liked the message. I liked the vibe. It just felt a little. The word is not messy. It was just off in a way.
Oh.
And I want to explain that. So in the live performance, if you watch it, because he did like a medley of songs for this stage, I believe, and during this performance, like he comes out, there's a lot of backup dancers, and then Taeyang comes in, and from the beginning, I could hear GD kind of having a little bit of issues with like singing. Like he sounded a little bit out of breath. Like he wasn't really singing a lot of his parts. I could hear a lot of the backup track. And I don't know if it was because he already had performed other songs before this, if this was the last one or what the order was. But I noticed that, and then Taeyang came in, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Of course, he came in for the choreo part. He falls, I believe. There's a quick.
It was one of the
glimpse.
best. It was one of the best recoveries ever, though.
Oh no, yeah, he recovered fast, but it just I felt like
so
oh,
fast.
no.
When they closed up on him, he was already back up. Within 1 second.
Yeah. No, props to him, because it was like it looked like a nasty fall, and he was right up front. So
it looked like a breakdancing move where you get on the knee for a second, you pop back up, more or less.
But
he definitely fell. He definitely fell.
He fell. He recovered fine, and then he continued on. I think I could hear him the most, I think, for a lot of his parts. And then they had a lot of moving back and forth between like the stage to meet Daesung and the set and like his part. That was also really cool. But then there was a certain part where all three of them were in the front, and they have the backup dancers, which I think was Bebe Crew, because I saw Bara Lee in the background, which is cool too. I like that she was involved. But they end up doing like another choreo moment, like another like little bit of a dance section. At that same part, I saw GD like not.
He like forgot
along.
his own choreo at one point. I swear to God.
I wasn't sure. Like, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt of like he probably sang like 3 songs before this. Like, this is his first time performing live in a while. Like, I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of things where I was like, oh, this just feels a little off. This is not the usual energy that I was expecting. But I'm glad they're back. So I like the effort. I like the idea of it. I like the stage.
You just don't think it was executed too well?
Yeah, I think the execution was a little off, but I don't know.
Honestly,
I think the song itself.
He was going for that thing where he was trying to nonchalantly do the choreo, but I just don't think it worked well.
Maybe.
That's what
maybe
I think
that's
he
what
was
it
going
was.
for.
Interesting. I was kind of persuaded. I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought.
Yeah, me too.
It felt like GD just doing his I don't really give a shit kind of thing, where like that's been the way they perform since like the early 2010s. So like in my head I was like that's just him doing, I don't really, you know what I mean, like the fact that they have the AR track on top of the MR track, you know, the way they sing is like that's what rappers do. It's like it's what Travis does, it's what Kendrick does, what Tyler does. I don't really care at this point. But I want to bring the conversation back to the song a little bit, right? Because like I think the performance is one thing, but like the song itself is like he once again is diving into like a style of music that was popular while he was like a little bit more inactive, which is like this like synth pop heavy. It's a little more like if someone were to say this sounds like something like Pitbull would release, I might be like, yeah, like, a little bit, yeah. It's like that kind of group of sounds in synth pop, and I don't hate it, but at the same time, it's like, does this capture everything that I hoped for? I don't know, like, because like on one hand, I think he's doing a fantastic job, but on the other hand, I don't think it captures everything that I imagine he is really good at as an artist. Because like I don't know, like Home Sweet Home song sounds fine, but like many times I've heard songwriting from him where I've been like, oh shit, you know what I mean, like so I think I need to maybe like rethink a little bit, because maybe I'm going in with a bias where like my standards are just too high because of my bias. But on the other hand, it's not a terrible song. I think there were a lot of things that kind of left me surprised a little bit. Like for example, like the chorus when it hits, it does a home sweet home, where like they do a little vocal drop, like literally a drop in the note, which is like that's like, stuff like that's kind of fun. It brings, you know, a little bit more dynamicism to the song, which is, on the other hand, the song feels a little bit more monotonous, because like other than the moments where Taeyang and Daesung do their little thing, it's constantly like pacing forward in a very similar manner, and the only thing that kind of is like the only thing that's pacing the actual pace itself is just GD doing his rap thing, and I think it comes down to how much of that works for you. There were some parts that worked. I liked some bits of the verses where like he's very explicitly calling out some of his previous releases, like Fantastic, Teamwork, More, Toast, you know, like Untitled, you don't know it's Untitled? Bullshit, you know, like that sort of thing. That stuff like that's cool, you know what I mean? But like, I don't know, song felt very quick. Song felt very fast, even though the song itself is like sitting at like what 3 minutes and 30 something seconds, which is like that's fucking crazy for a song these days.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that long.
I know, yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm just happy we're getting more G-Dragon stuff.
That's true. It happened. He got it out.
He got more stuff out. And this track, if you look at the credits, it's like the Black Label Peoples, right? It's him as a composer lyricist, and then it's like Teddy 24 Kush VVN. That's literally like the Black Label. That's them, all of them, right there. That's his crew. So I think G-Dragon, you know what's the one thing I will say in this whole like era he's in with Power into Home Sweet Home, he looks very like happier than I've seen him in like a decade.
That's true.
You know,
the attitude is great.
Dude looks like he's having a good time. It looks like he's excited. He like had the Big Bang kind of imploded. He went to the military. We had situations with Top and Sugri, and he's like, I'm just happy we're doing us now, right? Regardless of who's here, and we got the 3 homies back. We're doing some fun stuff, right? It seems like he's happy. He's giving Daesung some work, because that man's like, Daesung's kind of MIA at times, right? He's just kind of like, he just randomly pops up on variety shows once in a blue moon. You're like, oh, Daesung, oh, hi. He's doing his drumming videos in the background, you know? It's just like every time G-Dragon releases something, it's gonna be an event. And this song kind of feels like an event song to me, right? It's like, you wanted us to do something together? Well, we are. Here it is, right? I would say it's not the best song ever, but I had a good time listening to it. I like the electronica chorus. I've been bumping it all day, so I think it's fun. All right, let's pivot to the last song this week. Izna's debut with Izna. They are from Wake One. Their other songs, some of the songs you might know from their time on Island 2, Final Love Song, I Will Always Love You, Drip. Those are kind of the big ones from that show. These are the kids who won. It's, I think, in age order here: Mai, Bang Jimin, Jiyoon, Coco, Sarang, Junghoon, and Sebi. R.I.P. Fuko. It didn't happen, but I completely understand why we put Mai in this group now. I've been educating myself. I completely understand now. I will also preface this. I am very biased towards this group. I watched Island 2 religiously. I was in the thick of it, watching that show. I'm very invested. I will say this song does a good job of showing a lot of the strengths. Number one, this is a very YG focused week. I forgot about that in general too.
Yeah,
completely a YG focused week because this group's working with Teddy as well. So we have Teddy got 3 songs this week.
Teddy
kind of crazy.
Boy.
I don't think he worked on the Rosé track, but
he's listed as the second person.
Is he?
I'm fairly certain. I think I looked it up while we were recording.
I don't think he is. Second person is Amy Allen.
Never mind. I did not look it up.
Yeah.
I looked up Izna. That's what
liar.
I lied.
Yeah.
But she's at the Black label, so he's somewhat responsible for that. Okay.
Yes,
We're
I agree
here.
with you there. Yeah.
We're here now with Izna. We got this Izna track. As someone who was completely biased towards Izna, I'll say I liked the song, but I needed more in the chorus. That's my overall take on this song.
Okay.
We needed more and na-na-nas in the chorus. I don't know, like we needed more. That's how I feel. I like what we were doing. I get it. I like the choreography. I thought it's fun, but it just comes off feeling to me like a tiny bit repetitive, and I'm like a tiny bit predictable.
Tiny bit predictable.
Okay, it was very predictable. It was very predictable.
We went to college in 2015. Like we were around when like this style of music.
Oh,
was, like,
nah.
like that, and I mean, like, okay. Remember a couple weeks ago we covered Karina, and I was like, oh, this sounds like a derivative of Chris Brown, Tyga, without any effort to change it up. This is how I kind of feel about this one as well. It feels like we're on top of another ratchet type beat with like that has somehow become one of the trends of K-pop at the moment. I don't understand. But you know, between that track and, you know, it's not here or NA or not available, I guess. We're once again diving into this, like, you know, ratchet type. I'm not saying the song is ratchet. The song style, song genre is called ratchet music. So we're diving into that kind of music again. Very heavily influenced by the clubbing side, like the Chris Brown, the Tygas, you know, of that era.
It's pretty trendy right now.
It is. Stuff. I don't know how that came to be, if I'm completely honest. But this one does another job in that kind of soundscape, where like, kind of going back to what Duck said, the na 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 na, like they play along the beat, you know, a little bit. Otherwise, a pretty minimal production. I don't know. I'm kind of reaching a little bit for like stuff to talk about here. If I'm very honest with you, the pre-chorus was a nice change up. I will give you that.
I love the pre-chorus. That was my favorite part.
Okay, can we talk about someone real quick while we're talking about all of this whole song?
Yeah.
Yo, Coco is like, she put it in some work. Like, I don't know what you feel about the rap or whatever, but this group seems really Bang Jimin and Coco centric, like focused
at the moment,
for sure.
Yeah.
At the moment, and I think Coco, they're giving her like a bunch of parts. She's like all of a sudden the first rapper, and all of a sudden she has singing parts too, right? Like she's the main dancer of this group, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, she's the best dancer in this group. Like, if you watched Island 2, she's the best dancer in this group. It's like objective. She's got a lot of parts. I'm fairly happy with that, to be honest. I think she's doing great.
Well, I mean, I think it worked for her. I think like her
Yeah.
section, I think it flowed pretty well. Like that whole rap section, I thought it was interesting because, like we mentioned, the song is quite like one note in a way. Like the instrumental's not doing a lot; it's quite minimal, and repetitive. So I feel like there was a bit of a, to me, it felt like a bit of a break to have that rap there right after that chorus. And I don't know. I feel like I go back to that section because it felt like, oh, this seems to kind of maybe refresh like the feeling of the structure of the song. I don't know. So I don't know. I think it's working. It makes sense the way they put it. It fit this sound, I guess.
But is there a but, Anita? Are you leading to like?
No. I guess the thing is, like, I agree with Warren though. Like, I feel like, and maybe you too, Doug, we're in the chorus. I feel like we could have just given a little bit more, or just. I was just hoping somewhere in the song we would get like higher energy somewhere because
We needed a breakdown. This needed a breakdown.
Maybe, and
A breakdown would have helped.
They kind of tried a little bit at the end because there's a bit of a change, right? In the beat.
They add more drums. They add more drums.
Right, but it's still essentially the same thing. So I don't know. I feel like the concept that I was getting from this was supposed to be very like cool girl, very trendy, very like we're not trying too hard, but we're still like it girls, that type of thing. So I feel like they were not gonna go high energy, but at the same time, I feel like I don't know.
It's like a low energy, high energy song. I don't know how to put it, right? It's supposed to be fun and exciting, but it comes off feeling like, okay, a little like
nonchalant,
mailed in, right? Yeah, a little too nonchalant.
If
I didn't feel too excited.
Completely honest, if we wanted to go nonchalant, like low effort, but I'm so cool kind of thing, we need more. Like the rap's got to be good. Like I'm sorry, as someone who doesn't have a relationship with the folks here, you know what I mean? As in like I don't really know the girls too well.
Right.
We need more, man. I don't know. I'm not sold. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
This is not work. Maybe it's the song style. I don't know. This is like in general. Like I listened to the song the whole day, and all I remember is like nah like that thing. And this is about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
I remember that too.
It's hard because I'm biased, so I thought it was okay, this song, but
time.
But to be fair, it's not like I'm saying this was a great debut. You know how I normally say they have so many building blocks from here, right? Like I always say this type of thing. I'm saying like I know that these kids are talented, so if we get a good song, it's gonna be fine. But I would say for me, it's like it's okay. Like I'll honestly say I'm a little bit whelmed by this, which is surprising because I'm so biased to like this group.
Yeah.
They do have like a double track with this one. There's another track that they released as well, which y'all should probably check out. On top of that one's like way more high energy for some reason.
Is.
What is it called?
You should also Time Bomb.
Time Bomb. Okay.
It's also way more like K-poppy. I don't know how to describe it.
Beat.
Okay.
Yeah. So you should check that one out. Also check out some of the songs. Like just watch their full Mama performance. They perform like the whole catalog or parts of the whole like Island 2 catalog. They sing like parts of every single song they have there. So there is that as well. That being said, yeah, so Mnet did successfully debut a group around Bang Jimin and get her to be in the center of this group, right? Like they succeeded in their task of not putting her in Islet because she was on RU Next and they took other kids above her, even though she was like overall ranked 3 or 4 on that show. So they handpicked at the end. So they successfully built the group around Bang Jimin. She fits in this group way more than she would in Islet. I don't think it would make sense for her to be an Islet. I think the vibe is too innocent over there. So they got this group around her. I think they got the right pieces here. I just need a more exciting song, and I think we'll be cooking there once we get that. That being said, I think Coco's doing good. I know she might not have the best rap section, but she's doing a lot of parts. She's dancing. They put her in the second half of the chorus. They got her at the rap section. They have her in the pre-chorus section too. She's over there. She got a lot of work there. I think June has a great voice. Having June and Jungwon kind of be the main vocalist makes sense to me as well. So I'm excited for Izna in the future. And honestly, hey, Teddy got a lot on his plate right now. He's handling this G-Dragon musical phase. He got this Izna thing. He got this Meow thing. He's working with Rosé. Where's Somi? She's back in the basement now because everyone else is doing stuff. Yeah, so he got a lot on his plate. I'm interested to see how he'll manage it all.
You know what is really interesting about this track, though? One of the writers on the song here is a producer named Junior Chef. Do you guys know who Junior Chef is by any chance?
No.
Do you remember the 2014 SoundCloud hit from the Korean rapper Keith Ape called Itjima?
Wait, this guy worked on it?
Junior Chef was the main producer, and 10 years later, I'm seeing him on a K-pop track? What?
That's crazy.
Full circle.
Does not sound like this.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Well, we listened to Itjima a lot during college, so here we go.
It
Good
was
times.
everywhere.
Maybe he's like friends with Teddy or something. I'm trying to figure out. Like,
I think he works at Black Label at the moment.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
He
He's
had
a
a fallout
producer.
with Keith Ape, so I think he went the pop route, I guess.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. Other tracks this week: Bad Villain Zoom, Wavy, High Five, which is a pre-release. Wavy's doing a Korean songs right now, by the way, so they're in a Korean era.
Wow.
We have Ace with Pinata, Nowadays, Let's Get It, I Chillin' Official, One Ho, What Would You Do? I believe he's fully back from the military now, so he's releasing music again. Wavy Frequency, B2B, Be Alright, and then To Us, Last Bell. All right, let me get the SojuScore chart thing up and zoom in properly. I am doing that. We are good now. So SojuScore is a segment where each week the crew, Gochu Gang, and the SojuTalk Nation will vote on the new releases. Using the SojuScore guide, we will score songs from 0 to 10 with an average score receiving a 5. Songs with an average score of 7.3, that is updated last week, 7.3, will enter the Hall of Spice. Last week on 304, we had TXT Over the Moon get a 6.06. BVZ got a 5.71. XG Howling posted a massive 8.18. People were surprised by that.
Good song.
AT's Ice on My Teeth got a 7. We got a 4.7. And then Meow Toxic got a 6.06. The songs this week: Rosé, Number One Girl, G-Dragon, Home Sweet Home featuring Taeyang and Daesung, Izna. We got this Rosé track here, right?
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this pains me. It pains me.
What you gonna give it?
I'm giving it a 6.
You think it's a good song? Don't be pained.
I thought it was I thought it was a good song, but it just didn't connect with me enough. I don't know why. Maybe I am not the number one girl. All right, Martin, what would you give Rosé?
Warren or me?
Oh, Anita. Yeah, Anita.
Warren can go if you want. I'll go. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's your turn. No, we established.
I know. I also gave it a 6. Same, I guess, same reasoning. It's a good pop ballad, but in the realm of pop ballads and for future pop ballads that she wants to come up with, I feel like it needs a little something more.
We need some MSG packets, you know.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Like, I don't know if that means like connecting more personally in the lyrics or some, I don't know, maybe something, but it's still a good track.
It's fine. She's showing a lot of range from Apata. I'm okay with this.
That's true.
I'm a little surprised. I did not
7?
think. Yeah, I'm a 7 here. I did not think there would be a day where I give Rosé a better score than you guys.
I thought you were gonna go lower for some reason.
No. I liked Rosé's tone. I think the song did a great job of establishing that. Song felt very. I like the theming of it. I like the top. I do really like the melody too. You know what I mean? Like the way it keeps going upwards and then downwards and then going upwards again. That felt like a nice little. I don't know. Good touch.
All right. So SojuTalk Nation and Gochu Gang voted. They gave Rosé 6.46. So, in between our opinions, which makes sense.
That makes sense.
And as a result, with what song is this called? Number one girl.
Number One Girl.
Rosé, I forgot. Rosé receives a 6.37. That is her score. 6.37. Honestly, that feels a little low. But then again, I gave it a 6, so I can't really talk.
Yeah, this is your fault.
Let's see. What if I give it a 7? I was on the fence. All right, not that much of improvement. We got G Dragon here. Home Sweet Home. Surprisingly, this is my favorite song this week.
Oh.
This one gets a
Really?
7 from me.
Oh.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I like the style from G Dragon. I think he needs to keep doing. Let's get the band back together, guys. I like the vibes. Let's do some more.
Oh. Well, I'm a little nervous now for my score.
4?
2?
No, not that low. I had it at a 5.
Okay.
Okay.
I think
It's not the end of the
maybe
world.
personally, I haven't been a huge fan of this like sound from Big Bang or G Dragon as a whole. I know they kind of done it before, but it wasn't like that. Those weren't like my favorite songs from them. But I see the appeal to it, and I think it's more of the event too of it all. So 5.
I think maybe the performance is a little disorganized, but I think the song is fine. I if anything, I think the biggest flaw of it was the monotonous of it. Otherwise, I thought it was a good song. So I think it's a 6 for me.
All right. And the SojuTalk Nation and Gochu Gang voted, and they gave it a 6.14. So they just thought it was a good song, like Warren did. As a result, G Dragon with Home Sweet Home receives a 6.03.
Ooh.
That is the score it is receiving this week.
I am dead on the dot.
And then finally, we have Izna with Izna. As much as it pains me, this is just a good song. It's a 6. It's not anything more than that, honestly, which is a little disappointing for me, but it does get a 6.
I also gave it a 6.
Wow.
I think maybe my expectations were not super high because I didn't really know how they were, like the sound in general they were gonna have. It's an interesting take. It's an interesting attempt to this genre. I don't think it's 100%.
They're not there. They haven't
But-
like figured out what to do yet, I don't think.
But I'm intrigued. Like the pre-chorus was really cool. Like the vibe they have is pretty nice. So I'm hoping for the comeback.
All right.
Warren's gonna give it a 4, right?
Oh shit! You got me correct.
Yeah, I knew it.
boy.
Yeah, I could tell.
I'm not. I don't know. I'm still waiting for. We've had, to my knowledge, we've had 3 major releases of this sound in K-pop so far. We had Karina with Up. We had ATEEZ last week with Ice on My Teeth, and then now we have Izna with NA. All of these, I feel like we're stuck in the past in not a very pleasant way. I feel like if between the new Kendrick project and like Not Like Us, I feel like we have very much discovered that there's a huge range this genre could go. And we are trying to bring in a trend without actually, putting in the effort of having it sound good. Not interested. Sorry.
As a result, the SojuTalk Nation and Gochu Gang voted, and they have a 5.81. So it is the lowest out of the 3. Which I think it kind of makes
That's
sense.
okay.
So Izna gets a 5.45. God damn, it's average.
It's higher than a 5.
okay.
It's yeah.
It's
Yeah.
average. It's average. And honestly, I get it. I completely understand why. So the scores are: Rosé number 1 girl gets a 6.37. G Dragon Home Sweet Home featuring Taeyang and Daesung gets a 6.03, and Izna gets a 5.45. Yeah, that is the Soju scores this week. Anita, we got show winners. Hit us with them.
Yes. First up, we have aespa with Whiplash. They won on Inkigayo, giving them a total of 4 wins with this song. And then we have NCT Dream with When I'm With You. They won on Show, Champion, Music Bank, and Show Music Core. 3 wins so far for them. Congrats.
All right, that ends part 1 Soju Talk, episode 305. After the break, we're going to be talking some news and events from the past week, and then Warren will be talking about his Korea adventure. So that is what we'll have after the break. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, SojuTalk Nation. This is Anita here with a quick PSA. If you would like to support SojuTalk Kpop Podcast, please like, subscribe, or follow us on whatever platform you're using. And consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/SojuTalk or donating to us at paypal.me/SojuTalk. On behalf of the crew and myself, thank you. Now back to our regularly scheduled episode.
All right, we are back at it with part 2 of Soju Talk episode 305. We're going to talk about some news and events from the past week. It finally happened, guys.
We are here.
One of the first big movements of this hype fiesta, as we've been calling it, dumpster fire, finally happened. Minijin announced that she is officially leaving HYBE. She had a statement. Here are some quotes. Quote, "Hello, I'm Minijin. Today I am resigning from the board of directors of Adore. I also intend to terminate the shareholders agreement with HYBE and hold HYBE legally responsible for violating the shareholders agreement." God damn, those are some fighting words.
Damn.
I have done everything I could to honor the shareholders agreement and put Adore back in position it was before April, but HYBE has refused to admit wrongdoing and shows no signs of changing. So I've come to the conclusion that further efforts are a waste of time. HYBE has done the unthinkable, making up outrageous falsehoods and even going so far to publicly display their shameful illegal audit. As a minority shareholder and CEO, they framed me as a management takeover and went on a witch hunt, making ignorant and uneducated attacks that are unbecoming of a large company. God damn! Tell us how you really feel, Minijin. Yeah. So she's donezo, guys.
She's gone.
She's gone.
They're still gonna have to fight it out legally because there's money on the line and things like that. And did people defame other people and things like that? But she's gone.
Wow.
I think with this combined with last week's news, it's pretty safe to say the New Jeans discography is coming to a closure.
At the current
We
state,
know it.
Yep.
As
As we know it, yeah.
I mean, like, we know they want to be with Minijin. She's leaving.
Yeah.
They said,
Yeah.
we'll still love you guys even if we're not New Jeans. Like, I think.
There's some writing on the wall, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
They might be fresh pants or something in the future or something like that. But it kind of feels that way more and more, right? They say they want to be with Minijin. Well, she's gone now. And they've also said, even if we're not New Jeans, we're still New Jeans. So kind of feel like we're heading towards that direction. We'll have to see. It's kind of unfortunate that the kids get affected by this type of stuff. I also want to mention Islet later. I have something to say about them too, but there's an article pertaining to them. So
Okay.
I want to clarify something from last
All right. Well,
So
I'm just glad this is coming to some sort of closure. This is all I'll say.
Hopefully.
The amount of
yeah.
fucking YouTube videos I had to do were like, I get shit on both ways.
You know how many weeks we've had to talk about this? It had to be about
Too many.
double digits. So Adore briefly responded to the situation. He wrote, quote, "We would like to convey Adore's position regarding Director Minijin's resignation. Adore feels regrettable about the unilateral resignation notice from Director Minijin. Our company will do our utmost to support New Jeans so that they can continue to grow and develop further. Thank you." That's all they wrote. So they gave a really PR response to this.
Okay. I mean,
That's what they have to do. There's a lot of lawsuits on the line anyway, so you can't be saying crazy stuff. So that's that, I guess. On a more interesting note, Bang PD is seeking a personal loan repayment of 3.7 billion Korean won with interest from Minijin. So what is going on here is that in March of 2023, when they were on good terms, Bang PD loaned her this money to allow her to purchase the 18% stake of Adore, right?
yeah.
So at the time they were reporting that she bought it for 1.1 billion, but it turns out it was 3.7, and the entire amount was borrowed from Bang PD. So she put none of her money in to buy Adore. So now he wants his money back, of course, because they're on bad terms, right? Which makes sense from his position. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, because the shares probably have dropped since she bought the shares, and since they're fighting over this put option, and because we also found out last week that they're starting to put a lien on one of her properties, I don't know if she has this money to give back to him. So I don't know what's gonna happen.
Dude, she's broke.
Yeah.
She's broke.
Oh man.
And at the end of the day, if there's a loan here and they signed an agreement and it's legally upheld, she's kind of effed.
It's a loan. This is pretty straightforward. I don't know how.
And you don't think Bang PD got the proper paperwork for a loan? Come on, right?
Probably.
So
most likely.
good luck to her on this one.
GG.
There's that one. But then again, she's trying to generate funds. She filed a countersuit against a bunch of people. Let me go through this. So on November 22nd, the law firm Sejong, which is her law firm, stated that Minnie Jin has filed a criminal complaint today with the Yongsan police station against COO Kim, Vice President Choi, Visual Director Hall, and Head of Operations Lee of B-Lift Lab for defamation. And she is filing a lawsuit for 5 billion Korean won.
Oh.
So they said, so she is saying that they are defaming me by lying about the fact that I said that they were copying New Jeans. So this is another lawsuit to do with this thing. Did I copy New Jeans, that kind of thing. So now both sides are suing each other for damages about the same thing.
Okay.
So now that we're here, and also on the same day, Source Music also sued her for false accusations. So Source Music also is suing Minnie Jin for lying about Le Sserafim. So there's that.
Did they sue? Wait,
So
sorry.
now-
Did they sue for false accusation or defamation? These are two different things.
Okay. So both B-Lift Lab and Source Music are individually suing Minnie Jin for false accusations, where she is suing them for B-Lift for defamation.
Okay.
Okay. Let me do some Googling. I think you could be charged for defamation even if you tell the truth. Like, these are two separate things. You know what I mean? Like, in the Korean law.
Yes, because the defaming is just saying bad things about a company that would lower their business prospects, more or less.
Right. Even if it's true, if they see it as like defamation, like it could be something the court takes favor of.
Yeah, so basically then the music companies are suing Minnie Jin saying she's lying, false accusations, right? Minnie Jin is suing B-Lift Lab saying that they're making me look bad on a business level. That's what's going on here. That being said, a lot of money. They're all suing each other for like multiple hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. The point I wanted to get to is someone mentioned in the comments on YouTube last week that, there was some articles that we forgot that it's not that we forgot to cover. We didn't cover them. They're talking about how Eyelid has been very affected by this whole situation, which I completely agree, to be honest. Out of all the groups that are involved in this, Le Sserafim, BTS got brought up. Eyelid's kind of taken the brunt of this, have they not? Yeah. Right? Minnie Jin's main claim is that B-Lift Lab copied New Jeans with Eyelid. That's been her claim since day one. They probably had a lot of shitty things said about them online, even though it's not their fault that they're in this. That they're in
they don't
this,
make the
right?
creative calls. Let's be honest here, guys.
So I think that comment was correct. That like we should kind of feel bad for Eyelid, the kids, the individual artists in this situation, because they're just getting dragged along by everyone in all these lawsuits, right? Like, I agree with that. It's really shitty of these adults to do, honestly, but. When there's money, there's going to be lawsuits, right? So there's that.
As someone who's like, I don't know, like before all of this shit went down, right? Like I was, even though I've not been a huge, like the world's biggest fan of Magnetic, like I still thought it was a decent track, and like I was hoping they would do well. Obviously, I was very much in favor of New Jeans, and Le Sserafim, I thought they had good tracks, and like. So, like, I went into the scandal, like, hoping the best for all these folks. And then, like, what shocked me the most while this was happening was the amount of, like, fan wars coming from, like, all sides of the fucking community, from, like, all sorts of fandoms about, like, oh, like this group is terrible because they did this, and I'm like, shut the hell up. Like, I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I like copied, so they're shit. It's like, all right, hold on,
like,
right?
Are you like 12?
Yeah,
maybe you might be. Maybe if you're
it might actually be, right?
It's possible.
And the thing is, I like iLit. To be completely honest with you, I'm a pretty big fan. I'm a big Mocha fan of iLit. I think she's great. Even I was thinking about this. All the kids I like in hype groups are accused of being shitty singers. To be honest, I like Mocha. I like Sakura.
Oh no!
I was thinking about that.
Do you also like Kazuha? Is that the thing?
Yeah, I'm a Kazuha fan too, by the way. So there's that.
Man.
Yeah, so everyone's suing each other there. That's it. The last thing that brought up is people were there's a lot of articles dumping on Hybe lately, and like they're like very examining everything wrong with this company or what people perceive as wrong. This one was talking about how in Korea typically only executives get non-compete clauses once they leave a big company where they can't work for another person in the industry for a year or so, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it turns out that all employees at Hybe have a 1-year non-compete.
Oh.
That's a bit of a not so good look. The good news is that non-competes in Korea have been
they're pretty much unenforceable, they said. So
yeah, they become invalidated. That's a new thing. That became invalidated like earlier this year, I think, if I recall.
But people are saying like they cannot work for anything related to K-pop for a year. Like even like anyone at the company, more or less, which seems kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, that's a little stupid. I don't know what to say.
So someone just pointed that out as being pretty shitty, which I kind of agree with that. So that is all the Hybe dumpster news. Let's get to Mama, right? Ooh. Mama happened. They ended up giving out 4 Daesungs, which are the big awards. Artist of the Year 17, Album of the Year 17, 17th Heaven, Song of the Year aespa Supernova, Fans Choice of the Year Jimin. Those were the ones they gave out.
Nice.
Wow.
Congrats.
Okay.
I want to say something. I don't know if this will be controversial, but it's honestly my opinion.
Okay. You're allowed to have opinions.
I thought that Mama really was saying this year we're going to be focusing on like not just monetary sales, right? That's a point that they were emphasizing this year. I really think that aespa's probably Artist of the Year. That's just my take.
Could you elaborate a little bit so that people don't just,
Okay, 17 for sure should win our Album of the Year. They sold an absolute metric F ton of albums this year. Like, I think across the board. But if I think about how individual songs have performed and what kind of impact the artist has had this year, I think to me it's fairly clear that aespa had a crazy year this year. Am I bugging?
No, I mean I agree with you. I think
fair.
aespa had a huge impact this year. They established the fact that the year they had with Next Level and Savage was not a one-hit wonder of a year. You know what I mean? Like it's a replicatable success. I think that's really cool. On the other hand, like. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like, yeah, I don't know what to say. I was like trying to play the devil's advocate, but I don't think I can.
Like, so if we talk about music, it's Maestro and Love Money Fame, the DJ Khaled track, right? Essentially, it's those tracks versus Supernova, Armageddon, and then the success of Karina's Whiplash, right?
Oh,
that's more. I mean, not Karina's Whiplash, the Whiplash song, and then Up from Karina, right?
So
it's
those
4,
actually.
It's those 4 things. Oh yeah, I don't know why I thought for a second Karina's Whiplash. They actually had 3 bangers by themselves, right? Yeah, as a group.
Yeah.
So it's those 3 songs versus the 217 ones, and then you could even add the Karina Up as the sugar on top, if you want.
A little cherry. Yeah.
Yeah, and to me, I think that's pretty important to weigh.
I would
honestly,
agree, but
this Love Money Fame thing, it was okay. I think Maestro was good though, for sure.
I remember Maestro way more. I'll say that.
Yeah. So that's just my opinion. If you think I'm wrong, that's fine too. Honestly, I think a lot of artists had very good years this year. But let's look at how these a lot of these awards went. So Artist of the Year was between 17 aespa, Jungkook, New Jeans, Stray Kids. That kind of makes sense. The finalists, right? Song of the Year, which ended up going to aespa Supernova, was between that, BB Bamyan Gang, IU Love Wins All, Islet Magnetic, New Jeans How Sweet. That kind of makes sense to me too, honestly.
Yeah.
Album of the Year, 17 here. We got in Hypen's Romance Untold, Jungkook Golden, Stray Kids Rockstar, TXT, The Name Chapter, Freefall. You gotta give it to 17. They sold so many. The Fans' Choice went to Jimin, which, you know, it makes sense. He got a lot of fans, right? Yeah. So those are how the Daesungs came out. How do you guys feel?
I mean, nothing too surprising, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, and I think me wanting aespa over 17 is kind of nitpicking. I could see the argument for either of them. Do you reward individual song performance and impact, or do you reward overall success? Right. So
they never really did a breakdown of their criteria for success. For how they selected these winners. Did they like?
No.
How much stuff is weighed? No. Okay.
Not really.
I mean, I think that's
so. There's
fair.
that.
Yeah.
Some other awards they gave out: Best Male Group 17, Best Female Group aespa, sure. Best Male Artist Jungkook, Best Female Artist IU. I think that makes sense as well. Warren. Oh, Best, here we go, Rookie of the Year, right? To Us for male groups, and then Island for Best Female Group. Yeah. I think that makes sense as well.
That makes sense.
Same.
Yeah. You know, Black Horse here, QWER had a great year. to be honest with you. NCT Wish had a good year as well, but I think To Us and Islet overall makes sense. Warren was saying how this best band performance with the QWR was controversial on Korean internets because of how well Day 6 did.
Oh, I think it was pretty controversial in the West too, but I think the thing was they gave it out to the song instead of the band itself.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Yeah, and like Day 6, I think their success was split between Welcome to the Show and Power, whereas QWER, all their eggs were in
And Day 6, some of the older songs also popped off
that
this
too.
year, right?
Yeah.
That too.
It was spread out.
QWER, like the individual song, TBH did so well. I can see that. And then, you know, aespa, Supernova, and Armageddon, aespa won so many awards. There was like a hashtag going on, like how they were just sweeping up all the awards, things like that. Those were the main ones. Yeah, honestly, I think they got it pretty right overall. I could see the argument for a lot of the awards they gave out this year.
There was a lot of discussion online about the lack of Perfect Night by Le Sserafim. Because that falls into this date category. Even though it's been a minute since that song released, I think it does fit into the time frame.
It did do really well too. It was fun. I guess that Mama just decided to not put in a collab song, right? Like it was an Overwatch song, right? More or less.
That's the justification. Although, to play the devil's advocate, they did win M Countdown at some point. I saw someone say that in the comments, so and I might be lying.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean,
check out the performances. We got Rosé and Bruno Mars at Mama. That happened, by the way. Yes. At one point, Rosé and Bruno Mars are sitting there, and it's like ZB1 is like right behind them, and it's just like weird. Never expected to see this shot in my life, but it happened. Check them out.
We've already talked about the Big Bang performance, but like, the aespa performance was really good too, where like they had a little runway moment near the end, and then like
as they should.
Yeah,
as they should.
And then like there's a moment where like Winter does her thing, and then she falls to the ground, and then suddenly it's like fucking Giselle with her shades, and she's like doing her little thing, and I'm like, hey yo, pop off.
I need to watch that.
Yep. All right, let's keep going. So we don't have too much news this week. JYP Entertainment gearing up to launch a new boy group in December. That was on November 20th. But then, like, how much longer? 2 days later, they announced the group. JYP Entertainment announced debut of their new boy group Kickflip on January 1st, 2025.
Oh, boy.
And it is a 7-member group.
Is this going to be another hip-hop concept?
I don't know. Maybe it's a skateboard cut. They'll do skateboard choreography.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, but they're dropping it on New Year's. They're doing it.
Interesting. Wow. Beginning the year with the bang.
Yep. There's that. And then JYP had an interview. Quote, "We are preparing for full activities next year for Vicha." So they are not dead. Our plan is to differentiate this group from our existing K-pop artists with special and unique contents. The prep period is taking a longer time than usual because the preparation efforts is taking longer than expected. JY Park. So they ain't dead. He was also on a show with Junhyung from God and Brian Ju. And they were talking about Vicha, and he was talking about the group. So he's talking about them in public. So I don't think they're dead in the water. That being said, it was like we saw Cat's Eye at Mama, but it's like it feels kind of bad for Vicha, right? Like honestly, Cat's Eye's been killing it lately, too. Yeah, I kind of like what they're doing.
They're pushed a lot.
I at least appreciate the transparency, you know.
The one other big thing that came out of Mama is they announced the new survival show.
Oh my God! Again,
Planet B has been rebranded, so we're gonna call it Plan B. You could get it at your local drugstore if you have an accident, guys. So you don't, but it's happening. Boys Planet 2, so Boys to Planet, is a new global twin project with the aim of debuting 2 separate groups, one in Korea and one in China. Auditions are on November 22nd to January 26th. You have to be born before 2012.
Oh man.
They're gonna if you are 13, you could sign up for the show. So it is scheduled to air 2025. There's a Korean language program, Chinese language program. Both the K and C programs will be produced and broadcasted simultaneously with the same format and a shared universe. Through these 2 programs, 2 separate groups will debut.
Oh, so the contestants will not interact with each other?
No, there's a Chinese show and a Korean show, but I don't know if they're gonna switch back and forth or they're gonna be 2 separate shows. We don't know that. But it says both shows will be produced and broadcast simultaneously. I don't know if that means together, like we'll show an hour of China, hour of Korea, or it's literally gonna be 2 separate shows, but there's a collab thing going on here.
That is hella confusing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know what this is gonna look like, but it was announced at Mama.
Okay.
It sounds like a logistical nightmare, but I'm not the one producing it, so hey, good luck.
It does.
That's what I was thinking. And then finally, Lisa, Jenny, and Hypen and XG are announced to be a part of Coachella 2025.
Nice.
Ooh.
You know what we always do? Let's look at the size of the names. Hey, Lisa's on the top line. She's like
pretty big.
The 5th name here. Jenny is right here, about the same spot.
Oh yeah.
And then where do we got? XG's on the front line too, guys.
Oh wow. That's a huge shout. Yeah.
And who else were we missing? In Hypen. We're in Hypen. Right here. Yeah.
Oh, at the
they're all front line.
Yeah.
Think about this.
Wow.
If Hypen was on day 1, they're after Mustard. Think about that. It's kind of interesting, some of these names.
The headliners are Lady Gaga, Green Day, Post Malone,
and
then Missy Elliott,
Missy Elliott. Yep.
Okay.
Now we got Misfits are coming. They must be old as hell now. They got the Misfits.
I'm glad they're alive. Yeah.
T-Pain. Jimmy Eat World. Jesus Christ, there's some old heads coming. Ty Dolla $ign. He's showing up. XG's above Ty Dolla $ign now. It is what it is. That's the world we're living in. Yeah. So if you want to go to Coachella, that's what's happening. And Travis Scott designs the desert, apparently. I don't know what that means. It's going to be very expensive, though.
What?
He's designing the desert.
Why is he designing anything?
Designs the desert?
Okay. All right.
Hey, this is pretty good K-pop representation, honestly. The one thing is, it was like, people were kind of hoping they would see Jenny and Lisa do something together, but I don't know if that's possible. Yeah.
They're not on the same day either.
No, they're not. Yeah. So probably
well,
not.
maybe they could then. If they're not on the same day.
But yeah, that's the news from this week. Next week, though, in terms of music, Red Velvet Irene solo debut, which is kind of intriguing to say the least. We got a debut of a 6-member boy group. They're called KJRGL. It's between Sony Music Labels, so the Japan branch, and Sony Music Entertainment Korea. It's made up of Korean and Japanese members, and we don't know if it's gonna be in Japanese or actually they have digital songs in Japanese. This must be their Korean debut. It is.
Oh.
That's what's going on here. They have been releasing stuff in Japanese already, and they're gonna debut in Korea. There's that. We've got 7JB, Super Junior Kyuhyun, and then BTS's V. So those are the stuff for next week. I'm gonna assume we're gonna do V, and we'll do Irene at a minimum, and we'll go from there. Right? Boom. All right, Warren, it's all you. All in my stream. Do whatever you want now.
I was in Korea a week ago. I came back about a week and 8 hours ago at this point of recording now. Obviously, I'm in Michigan at the moment. I'm back in my parents' basement. But at the moment, I was looking back on my trip to Korea, and I was like, oh, what can I share with my fellow nation folks? What can I share with my friends in Korea? About how my trip in Korea went. And here's what I did. I split stuff down into little neighborhoods, activities. Some of them have a lot of photos. Some of them don't have any photos because I'm not really a good photo taker. It is what it is. You'll just have to deal with it. But yeah, does that sound good to you guys? You guys probably aren't visiting Korea anytime soon, but maybe this is inspiring to go visit sometime. Yeah. Also, like, my TikTok, my For You page is like always full of people who are visiting Tokyo or Japan or Korea. And I'm like, I don't know, like, I probably wouldn't do that, like, or maybe, I would do that, There's a lot of moments where I'm like, as a native kind of there, I'm like, So, this is my review of some of the things I did. I'm going to give it a rating from 1 to 10. Is it bullshit or not? You know what I mean? The way we do ratings.
Okay.
Here. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna start off with a neighborhood called Seongsu-dong. Seongsu. Have you guys heard of Seongsu?
This is the place. It's popping off right now, is what I've heard.
It is a little bit. Yeah. It's like the cool kids neighborhood. Like it's like you can get your shopping done. You can get your shopping done. There's a lot of cool cafes, a lot of cool restaurants. There's always like 10 different pop-ups going on. It's like a artistry kind of neighborhood a little bit too. The vibe of it is kind of like this on the left you see here with like it's kind of obviously there's big buildings everywhere because it's fucking Seoul, but like there's like little buildings here and there, and there's little pop-ups here and there. It's kind of cute, and there's a lot of little select stores with fashion and like. There was this bakery I went to that had salt buns. Have you guys had salt buns? By any chance?
No.
I don't know.
No?
No.
That you guys never heard of that? 소금빵.
so.
I've heard of it, but I haven't had it.
Dude, it is so fucking good.
Is this area the one that's sort of near like Little Forest, right?
Yes.
Someone near?
Yes.
I believe
So
it is.
if I were visiting, I would do those things at the same time because like Seoul Forest and Seongsu-dong is essentially in the same neighborhood. But
yeah, they're both north of the river on the east side, but it's like on its like own piece of land, right?
It's technically on the
This
right
Forest.
side of the river. It's on the east side of the
Yeah,
river.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, going back, if you ever go to Jayeon-do. Let me write that down. There we go. Should I write that down in English? I probably should. Jayeon-do. There we go. They have fucking amazing salt buns. It is literally just a bun with a fuck ton
Look
of
up,
butter and like a little
yeah.
salt on top, and it is, oh my god. It
Just
will
gotta
blow
look
your
up
fucking mind.
Jayeon-do Salted Bakery. That's what you Google, guys.
Yes.
It'll come up.
There you go. But hey, I mean, there's
look
other
nice.
stuff to do too.
Wow.
I saw a baby monster pop up.
Wow, I'm in the baby monster these days, by the way.
Oh.
I think I was there when Drip came up. That's probably why.
Yep, clearly.
The Christian Dior store is there, and like
Ooh.
Wow.
it's always a nice little light show. There's like
Look at this building to the
tourists.
right of that. Holy crap. What is that?
Tambourines is like it's like a, I think they make like lotion and like perfume. It's kind of like Le Labo, but like it's run by the same people that run Gentle Monster.
Oh, okay.
So it's also I think this is their flagship store where they have like all the fucking perfumes and whatnot. I didn't end up going in because the line was like so long.
Jenny's one of the models for their brand.
She is, yeah. I don't know. Every Korean person I talked to, they thought their like perfumes are really on point and shit. So, yeah. Last thing I would do if you ever need to eat there is I would go to 성수동 감자탕.
Wow.
Ooh. So explain gamjatang because people are like gamja's a potato. Explain why it's not potato soup.
Kamja also means like cow spine. So what they do is they take the spine of a cow along with some of the ribs attached to it, and then they cook that shit in a huge pot with a bunch of seasonings forever. I mean, like literally hours on days, and it becomes so soft, and it falls right off, and it is, my God,
That looks so good.
it is, man. So I would go to 성수동 감자탕 if I were there. It is, if you go alone, it is one person friendly as well. Like typically,
Is it called somunan?
Yes,
Songsu gamjatang?
I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
I'll tell you how to write it on the page. That's what people should Google if you want to go there.
Is this it? 소문난 감자탕.
Yeah, and then go to the Songsu stop.
Yes, the Songsu location is the original one. And like typically the big benefit of it, if you eat it here, is that typically 감자탕 is meant for like 4 or 5 people. Like you get a huge pot to share. But here, they will give you all this meat for one person.
Just for you.
For me.
How much was this, Warren?
I
Like
was like, what? Like
expensive?
like I got 15,000 won, which is like what? Like $10 right now.
$10. Well, yeah, it's 15,000 Korean dollars, but when you convert it, it's like $12 US.
Right,
That's
right.
so
Because the
good.
dollar is like
Yeah.
fucking popped
Yeah.
off right now thanks to the economy. So hey,
Oh no, yeah, it's 1060 US. 1060.
yeah.
Holy crap.
The dollar is like so strong right now compared to the.
Bro,
won,
you should
so.
have bought some expensive shit while you were out there. It's like
Dude.
a 33% discount.
I did so much shopping there. I kid you not. Like, there's this Korean brand called Mushinsa, which is like it's kind of like the Korean Uniqlo.
Yeah.
But also it's kind of like they do two things. It's kind of like Urban Outfitters or Essence where they have a bunch of brands, but they also have their in-house brand called Mushinsa Standard, which is our equivalent of Uniqlo. I would do a lot of shopping in both sides.
Ooh, I like their
Largely
stuff.
because Korea has a huge diversity of like domestic brands, but also because Mushinsa Standard delivers all the trendiest cuts, at a very affordable price. Like for example, like a very trendy coat that would cost typically like upwards of $300, you could get it for like 140.
Mushinsa sponsors New Jeans and Karina, by the way.
They do, yeah. I think last year's Black Friday advertisements was like just all New Jeans.
Goddamn.
Wow.
Yeah. So hey, Seongsu-dong, if you go to Seongsu-dong, you can eat this. You can do a lot of shopping at Mushinsa Standard. You can eat some salt buns.
You could get that Korean hit like cool vibe over there. It feels like, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, the nice vibes.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
Damn.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
So this is you should if you want to be
score.
trendy, you go here more or less.
I will admit, like I when I went here last year, there was like no tourists. But now this year when I went, there was a bunch of tourists, so I think people are kind of picking on. But I don't know if remember how like 10 years ago, like Hongdae used to be the cool place to hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still kind of is. Like that's where all the clubs are. But like I don't know, maybe before like 8 p.m. if you need stuff to do, I'd go there. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Right. I did this. I got my picture taken.
So professional looking.
I needed a new photo for my Teams Messenger at work.
Who's this handsome guy? Who the F is? Look at this. Look at this guy.
Okay.
Dang.
Straight up, my Teams Messenger, like my professional work photo, was from my trip in Japan in 2019. I had brown hair. I had different glasses.
Oh.
Remember like that era, like when I was graduating
Yeah, I
college?
know that. That's a while ago.
It's been a fucking minute. And like they used to, like my coworkers just used to tease me about that, so I was like, I should get a photo taken.
Wow.
And I was talking to my girlfriend about it because I was like, Korea, there's a lot of good photographers in Korea.
And they do the Korean magic on the photos. You know? The Korean magic.
They got that Korean magic. And I was like,
Korean magic.
do you know anybody that does them for cheap? And she's like, the dollar is so strong right now. Anywhere you go, it's gonna be like it's gonna be so cheap. And I was like, you got a good point. Where should I go? And she recommended me this photo studio called Sihun Hada, SIHYUNHADA. Which, if you translate it literally, it means to visually record.
Yep, you could Google this. It comes up in Hongdae, right?
Yep. There's a place in Hongdae. There's a location in Gangnam. There's like 5 or 6 or so locations all over Seoul. There's, cool. I think, one in Busan and then one in LA as well, if you're into that.
Oh.
And here's the thing. Like, I don't take a lot of photos. Like, most... toxic straight men, I don't take a lot of photos. I'm just not very
Did the person, did they do a good job of helping you? They're like, smile, sit in this angle.
She was like the nicest and yet the most extroverted person I've ever met.
Sometimes you need that though.
You do.
For photos at least.
You do. And like, she did such a good job of hyping me up, even though I'm not used to that at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got a question about Seongsudong before we keep going, Warren.
Oh, okay.
Is it that common ground shipping container mall near there?
People don't go to that anymore.
I went there in like 2019 when it was popping off. I was there. So I've been to this area before it got super developed. I went to that mall thing like 5 years ago.
That was what began the hype around this neighborhood.
This makes sense now.
That and another
I was like, I feel like I've
Onion,
seen some of these places.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would go check it out again if I could. Wrong photo. But yeah. I
Look
paid
at this
like,
great headshot. That's so nice.
I paid like 8만 원, I think.
So he paid like, $80 before the discount,
which is like with the dollar discount,
$60.
Like $60.
$55.
$55.
Yeah.
No tip.
That's great.
Nice.
No tax.
No tip.
And
wow.
How many?
What's up?
How many shots did you get?
We took like 18 photos together, and then she edited, and we had to select it down to 1, and then she edited it on the spot, and that whole process took 30 minutes.
So basically, Warren went to get one beautiful headshot so he could use it for his work for the next 10 years, and it cost him $55 with the Korean magic and everything. I think it turned out well for the amount you paid.
I don't look like this in real life.
This guy signing up for Singles Inferno 4 or whatever the hell the next one is. That's that guy right there.
Thank you. Shoutouts to photographer Seung-yeon in Gangnam.
Yeah, Korea's great to get this type of thing, to get glasses, because glasses are super cheap out there, and they can read your prescription off your current one, right? These are all like things you should go buy in Korea when you're there, that they do better, you know?
Yeah, and like I know people like to get their like personal color done, or like people like to get their makeup done. I don't know about any of that. I just needed a photo.
Yeah, they do that too. Personal color. Oh my god, I've seen it. I've seen it.
No, she did ask me though. Like she was like, "Oh, what tone are you?" And I'm like, "I don't. Could you do something neutral?" And she was like, "You know what? I got you. I can help you out." I was like, "Oh, thank you."
That sounds nice.
She was like the nicest person I've like ever talked to. She was like, you were talking about her CEO in LA.
They have an English facing website. And you could get a reservation on an English-facing website, which means they'll accommodate English speakers.
The reason I bring this up was like the person before me. I think the person after me was like clearly a Chinese tourist. It is clearly like they're very like accommodating. Towards tourists. Otherwise, I would not be recommending this. So, I would go check it out. Again, man, I am gonna keep that photo for 20 years.
Yep.
So,
Dude, meanwhile, I took a license photo last week. It was probably like top 5 ugliest photos I ever took. But I was at the DMV. I'm like, I'm not gonna tell this woman they take another one, right? So I was like, it's fine.
Because the moment you ask for something else, they're like,
I don't want to piss them off. So I said, it's fine.
They're like already pissed off and you meet them. Like that's the
Exactly.
issue.
I was like, I was like, so what would you rate this experience?
I'd give it an 8 out of 10. You know, it was a quick, short minute adventure. I liked every moment of it. You know.
Okay.
All right, moving on. I went to another neighborhood called Haebangchon and Gyeongridankil. I'm bringing these together because they're kind of next to each other. It's supposedly this artsy neighborhood. You know, Hongseokcheon used to have a bar there. Nohongcheol used to have like a little bookstore there. I went to this restaurant called Haebang Sikdang HBC restaurant. They had fusion Korean food. With fucking like alio aiolio with fucking tuna in
Italian
it or some bullshit.
Ooh.
Apparently, I was like, this looks. I'm sure it looks great for Instagram. It doesn't taste good. It tasted really good. Like damn.
Ooh.
And I figured out this the legit deal because like 20 minutes after I sat down, a very big black van pulled up. And
Oh
like,
no, who'd you see?
and like 3 people who are clearly dressed in like African traditional clothing stepped out.
Huh?
And like a couple folks from with like suits and like those like security, you know, the earpieces walked out, and I was like, oh, like maybe they're like foreign guests of embassy. I don't know, like somewhere in Africa.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. There's a lot of the government buildings somewhere near there. Yeah.
Wow.
So I think if the government officials are going, that probably says something.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, good restaurant. There was also a record store called Welcome Records. For those of you guys who listen to K-hip hop, there used to be a record store at Hongdae called Daytona Records that used to carry a lot of hip hop records, like vinyls. They closed down earlier this year. The Quiet wasn't making enough money, apparently. So if you're looking for something to replace that itch, this is a little bit towards that. I got myself a Sumin vinyl and then a Mind Combined vinyl. So I'm not complaining too much. But their selection wasn't particularly amazing. I don't know. But other than that, it was a pretty empty neighborhood. There wasn't really much to do, I'll be honest with you. We went to like the very main area of Gyeongridankil, and it was empty. It was just empty. I kid you not. Like there were restaurants that were like literally closed.
Weekday, weekend?
Business. I did go on a Tuesday. I went on a Tuesday, so like that is a part of it. No, actually no. I went on Wednesday, during the day.
Oh.
So. I don't know. I mean, I did look it up later, and they were like, "Oh, it's been like it suffered from the issues of gentrification, where like it went through like 2 waves of gentrification, and now it's like nobody likes being there anymore."
Oh man.
So, yeah, I don't know if this is on your radar for any reason.
I feel like it's pretty advanced.
I don't know. I saw it on a couple of TikToks, and they were like, "You gotta go check it out."
Really?
I don't know. I'm gonna call bullshit. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10.
Damn.
Pretty bad. I think that's the lowest rating I've ever given.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, I went to MMCA, which is short for Museum of Modern Contemporary Arts.
Okay.
I'm gonna double check that just so I make sure I'm not lying.
Sounds about right.
National Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art of Korea. Okay, there you go. I'm right.
Yeah, you could just Google MMCA Korea. It comes up instantly, guys.
It is right next to Gyeongbokgung, that whole Gwanghwamun, that area. So if you're a tourist, I'm sure you'll visit. Now, I would only go if you're into modern art. Like only if you're into modern art. If you are the kind of person who does not like modern art, I would definitely not go. Like some of the installations I saw were like, I don't know what the fuck I saw. Like this looks cool. I don't know what the hell this is. I think this was called the name of this installation was called Fly. Maybe it's supposed to be a little fly of sorts. Fly as in the insect, not like the verb. This was a little installation I saw where the skulls represent the notes on sheet music.
I have one suggestion for our American friends traveling to Korea. If shit goes down when you're in Korea, like the shit goes down, right? The war breaks out or something crazy happens. The Sejong statue. If you go to the Sejong statue, look at Sejong and look to the right, you're at the U.S. Embassy. So, just a quick
tip.
Just always remember that. Go to the Sejong statue and you're at the embassy.
I know where that is.
You can't miss it because the anti-American protests are happening 24/7.
And 24/7, right? Yeah. By the way, that's just a factoid.
Red wing,
yeah.
ultra right-wing folks are always there, so you can't miss it. And it's right next to Gyeongbokgung, so it's a good location. See, I took a photo just to make sure I'm not lying. It has all the coolest pieces of art in Korea in the current moment in time. I like to go to MoMA very often in New York.
Okay.
Do you?
I go there at least once a year. Is that very often? I don't know.
Do you go on the free days?
I try to. It never works out. Actually, I don't, because like I did that once and it was crowded.
It's so busy. Yeah, it's so busy.
That being said, this was a little too high for me, as in like high concept, high art.
Yeah.
Come on.
I go to the National Museum. It's free, honestly.
I've been there too.
Go there. It's great. I also really liked, like maybe because I'm into it, I love the Korean War Museum. There's a military museum. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, if you're interested in like the best modern art that Korea has to offer at the very given moment, I would go check it out. I happen to not be one of those people.
Yeah.
So.
If you want to be more artsy, but you want to take cool photos, go to Dongdaemun Design Plaza. Just take some photos there, honestly. And they have that staircase where they have the Korean Fashion Week. If you guys know, you can walk down there and pretend you're at Korean Fashion Week. It's right there.
That I hate that fucking building. It's a huge waste of taxes.
Yeah, it's kind of terrible.
It's a huge waste of taxes. It's not even a joke.
Well, when I was there, they had a night show where they were using projectors displaying a show on it at night. It was kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
So they actually were using it for something when I was there, but...
All right, well, MMCA gets a 4 out of 10, which is a little bit below average, I guess. So, hey, I had some good moments where, in terms of, clearly I had a good time because I took so many photos.
You did, yeah.
Got a 9 out of 10. I got a photo taken at Shionhada. I give it a 8 out of 10. My mom looked at the photo and she was like, you should go thank the photographer. And I was like, I agree, Mom. 해방촌은 경리단길 2 out of 10. Don't go, man. Last but not least, the Korean Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art, 4 out of 10. My brain's too small. Thank you.
Did you stay with relatives or did you stay at an Airbnb?
I stayed at an Airbnb mostly.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I'll give
like
one
to stay in Gangnam.
One hotel suggestion. As a first timer staying, if you stay at the hotel I stay at, typically you're near all the touristy shit. So I always stay at the Plaza Hotel, which is across the street from the Seoul City Hall. By the way, so you can literally walk to Gwanghwamun, the Sejong statue, and that hotel in the basement has a walkway to Myeongdong, by the way. So it's pretty nice. You can look it up. The Plaza Hotel. It's a pretty notable place. You know, back in the day when what's his face? Psy did that big concert, right, in Seoul. It's on the lawn right in front of the hotel. That's where he did it. That's where a lot of big events happen.
I did think I got asked a couple times whether they should stay in an Airbnb or a hotel when they visit Korea. Personally, I think I would stay at a hotel personally, and this is going to be a weird reason why, but personally, I think Korea has a really good culture of delivery food. Just like we have had food delivered from way before when Uber Eats was a fucking thing. Obviously, nowadays, we also have our version of Uber Eats and DoorDash and whatnot. But the problem with that is in order to order from those apps, you need a Korean phone number, a Korean method of payment, that sort of thing. Unfortunately, without having like a long-term visa or anything of that sort, like this is going to be a huge nightmare for you guys to figure out. So the better answer there is to take, and if you want to try take advantage of that, I would go to a hotel and ask for the front desk, hey, we want to, get something delivered. Like I want to get Yupduk delivered because that's a popular, thing.
And they'll help you out for sure.
They'll help you out for sure.
One thing is, Korea takes hospitality industry super seriously. Like, it's such a big deal in Korea for them to take care of you at the hotels. Particularly because most hotels, when you stay for more than like 3 or 4 days, they're like, oh shit, you're spending a lot of money at our hotel. They take care of you really well, honestly.
I mean, in general, I feel like Korea is still one of the countries where like customer service is like,
oh, it's really good.
It's
for a
very
foreigner.
High level. Yeah. Like people will be very pissed off if something is like very slightly. That's the thing where like I have like friends who come over from Korea and they're like constantly like, oh, that Starbucks lady was so mean. Oh, that bubble tea lady was so mean. Oh, that Target dude was so mean. And I was like, nah, it's just people in Korea are nice. They're just fucking, I'm sorry, man. I'll tell you, different standards. So everyone will be wildly generous to you if you are not a dick in general. So
yeah. So one more time, recommend the hotel I stay at. It's the Plaza Seoul. It's in Marriott's umbrella. Walkway to a lot of touristy stuff. You could even get to Namsan Tower walking from there, which is pretty interesting because there's one of those weird like elevators up the hill type thing. You can take it and it gets you right to the cable car start, which is kind of funny. Okay. So that's a super touristy area you could stay. But that's where we do. And the best thing, there's a luxury bus to the airport direct.
Oh wow. I mean, the
Coach bus.
Bus system to the airport in Korea is pretty developed. That's also another thing. Like I keep seeing people who try to take the subway to the airport.
Hell no! Don't do that.
Take the bus, guys.
Take the bus.
The bus.
Like, they speak English at the airport. You say I want to get to this hotel or this neighborhood. They tell you exactly what you need to do.
Yeah.
And if you stay in near the area where I'm suggesting, near City Hall area, near the Gwanghwamun area, there's a luxury bus that literally stops at all the major tourist hotels. On that, near there, they stop at all of them.
And like, even if you can't afford to stay at a luxury hotel, like there are a million.
Million hotels. Yeah.
No. There's like 100 like different shuttle bus lines that go directly between neighborhoods, directly to the airport. It's like, so just take one of those. It'll save you so much headache. The subway, I wouldn't want to, lug my carriage around for an hour and a half trying to get to the subway. So, yeah, I would personally do that.
Okay.
About it.
Thank you, Warren.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
A lot of fun stuff.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
All right. So that kind of ends episode 305. Next week, I'm kind of excited for this Irene solo debut. It's been a long time coming. We'll see you guys then, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And here's an extra special shout out to all of our Fiesta Patreons on patreon.com. Bagel, Charles, Cotton Ball, Ellie, Gogu Mama, Honey Pools, Liam's Games and Toys, NJ Parks, South Texas Once, Siu Sumi. And thank you for joining SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. Thank you, really.